Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be sharing a look at a few of my extra Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Archie's comics from the 90s. There's a few in here that aren't Archie and aren't from the 90s, and they're still part of my excess comic book collection. A couple of years ago I started to reacquire a lot of the comics and more of the comics that I used to collect as a child. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Batman were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Batman. So those were the four titles that I would collect. And to be completely honest, when I would buy the Ninja Turtle comics, I really wouldn't read them. And I wouldn't read the other ones either. I just wanted to collect them. And there's a lot that goes into that aspect of my collecting behavior and my reading challenges and what interests me. And I collected them just because they were Ninja Turtle, because they were G.I. Joe. They were representations of things that I played with and collected. Also, the action figures and things like that, and the memorabilia. So over the last few years, in buying most of my comics in small groups or lots, I would end up with some doubles, triples, quadruples. I think issue number 3 or 2 actually, I have like 7 copies of. And that was the first issue I ever purchased as a kid at the toy store. Actually, it was like a bookstore, small bookstore that sold comics and candy by where we grew up. And that's the first one we ever got. So I just buy those and stack those up because I like the feeling of purchasing another one of those. And what I've decided to do is to try to thin out some of my collection by offering some of the extras that I have. And that's what you see here. And I'm just going to go through each book. I don't think anything here is particularly too exciting compared to a lot of things. I'm excited about Ninja Turtle books, but some people just like the Mirage Studio ones that Eastman and Laird did, although Eastman and Laird, they had involvement with these too. It's just these are the Archie's versions. And this is what I remembered as a kid. I remembered the Archie's comic books pretty much every time we'd go to the comic book store. This is what I would look at. I don't know exactly what's going on in each one of these books. I don't know the stories. And I watched the cartoon and I collected and played with the action figures. And I'll just do a walk around. I don't think I'm going to open up the books and just show the pages. I think I'll just show the outside and the spine. So there's going to be condition issues with each one of these because they're my extras. I'm keeping all the really good copies so I can keep those in my collection, and then I can upgrade as better copies become available. And I think there's like 80 or so different issues of the Archie series, and some of the higher number issues can be quite difficult to find. And I would like to end up with an entire collection. And then I would like to end up with an entire collection graded between a 9 and a 10. And that's the goal. And that will take a long time. And that might be through some of my own submissions of grading, and it could be through just purchasing the book already graded or trading some of the loose ones that I have for graded copies. A bunch of the loose ones could possibly equal the value of a graded copy at some point. And most of the Archie's Ninja Turtle comics, from what I understand, the graded versions, if you got like a 10 or get something really high, you can be talking some substantial money, and yet it's still something that's fairly affordable for such a important comic book series. And these ones that we have here, they were well loved. They were read. They were, not kept in perfect condition. I like these old advertisements. They're really cool. I remember looking through the comics back in the day and really identifying with the advertisements and really liking that part of it. There was a point where I bought a bunch of old Sports Illustrateds, or actually somebody gave them to me, and I started cutting up the magazines to get all the ads, and I have just stacks of cool ads from vintage Sports Illustrated issues from the 60s and 70s, and I haven't really done much with them yet. I'll get to them at some point. So the art is really cool. It just, every time I see one of these Eastman and Laird, you know, when I see Eastman and Laird at the top of a comic book, it just, you just get that, you know, you get that feeling. It's sentimental, it's comfort, it's excitement. Oh, there's a lot that comes with seeing these books for me. And the way that I collect a lot of the time, if I start to get into something, is I'll buy groups of things so I can check them out. I can have a variety. I can possibly get something at a lesser cost because it's, you know, part of a lot when you buy a quantity of something. So that's what I did, you know, and I just, over the years, have just stacked them in a box, and then I finally today decided, all right, I'm gonna sort these out and put the ones that I really like in a pile and, you know, protect those. That handheld, so cool. The tiger, or no, that's not tiger, is it? Yeah, no. It's just cool. It's just really, really cool. So yeah, I just recently, or just today, started separating them, and you know, some of them have the barcode on there, some of them don't. And see, like you can see, and I think that's the difference between a newsstand and like a regular issue. I still don't know all the terms, but see how that one has a barcode. I have some where I have the exact same books. One has a barcode, one doesn't. And then there's other ones where it's like, you know, in honor of the editor or the publisher or something like that. And so there's little variations. And then I've seen a few where the color on the cover was a little bit different. It wasn't like sun faded. It just wasn't as like as vibrant. So I think that they, you know, it could have been a later in the print run for a certain day or a certain time. The machine was starting to run out of ink, or they decided to just use less ink at certain stages of the print run. That's classic. And so I just set, if I saw variation, I set it aside. And if I had two that were like in really great shape, I kept those two, because if it's worth me just grading it myself as opposed to paying to just buy the book already graded, you know, I'll do that at some point. I can't right now, but, and that's another thing, is some of this, who knows, maybe if I just sell these for cash, maybe it'll be enough to pay to get a couple books graded. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. So hopefully somebody that's watching this video will be able to, it'll be a good record, because this will live on YouTube for a very long time. And at the time of filming this, I'm interested in knowing what the value of these are. And it would be cool if at some point we go back and we watch this video and the values have changed so dramatically that we're like, oh man, can you imagine having, you know, issue number 11, which I just showed you. Can you imagine having issue number 11? It wasn't in great condition, but even in that shape, it still would have been great. I love stuff like that, and the thought of, one thing we'll never get away from on my channel is my phone getting interrupted with an alarm, or the phone filling up. So it just would be really cool if, looking back on this video, we're like, wow, issue number 11 or issue number 13, even in that condition, it's still, you know, just so freaking, oh, that Game Boy ad is cool. I mean, some comic books, you'd think people just buy them just for the ads, which, if people are doing that for like Sports Illustrated to get like Rolex ads out of there, whew. These Game Boy ads, and, you know, all the old toy ads and stuff they would have on these comic books. I can imagine that being quite popular with collectors. So if you see something that I'm showing you, if you notice a good talking point or something that I may not be aware of, whether it's a variation or just a little insight about the book or the story, please leave a comment and let me know and let everyone know, because this video is just as much about discovery as it is about show and tell. And if you're interested in adding these to your collection, and I still have them, please shoot me a direct message on Instagram. Link to that is in the comment section or the description section of this video. And it's the same as the name of the YouTube channel. It's I Didn't Buy These, so. This is one of the movie comic books. Ooh, this one's in rough shape. Ooh. Good placeholder if you need it. Taped up, rough shape. The official comic book adaptation of the Golden Harvest motion picture. Fantastic. Terrible shape. Someone loved on this one, that's for sure. And I have the majority of issues 1 through 37, and that's where it stops. So I am gonna have quite the adventure of trying to complete the full set because of all the older issues being harder to get from what I hear. This is just it's called Turtles Meet Archie Adventure Series, Spring Edition, a little bit thicker of a book, Summer Festival. Yeah, not in the best shape, still. Yeah, I mean, genius. They could use all these, you know, the comic book to advertise the new toys, the video games, the apparel. Like, oh man, it was just genius what they were doing. Mark Freeman. Genius, man. Absolute genius. And then Donatello and Leatherhead. That's funny. Made a dude you can really hang with. So I don't remember this series. Donatello and Leatherhead. Issue number 1 of 3. And then Mighty Mutanimals. I have issue number 1 of this. Yeah, I have issue number 1. I have a couple of those, and those are set aside. Here's issue number 5. Never read this one, and I don't think I owned one of these either. Tiny Toons. Yeah, that's right. I loved that show as a kid. Looks like they stamped on that one. It's like it's detaching from the cover. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And it is, and that's just what's happening. Got 3 left. Another Mighty Mutanimals. It's impressive, the folks that know so much about, you know, the comic books and they retain all the information. I retain information about certain things, so I understand it, yet it's not something I know a whole lot about, so I'm eager to learn. So whatever comments you guys have about these books or the rarity, or somebody that collects them or stocks them away and just likes to have more issues of the Archie Ninja Turtles, please let me know. You know, I'm looking to get these in the hands of somebody that will appreciate them, enjoy them. You know, because I don't need these ones, and I have another stack of more that I have that I'll be getting rid of, just not yet. Oh, this is a double-sided, so it is Vanguard issue number 0, and then the Savage Dragon versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 2. Let's see what we got here. There they are. All right, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Got by David and LaShawn. Butt kicking ninja action. Cool. All right, so that's it. It's my little group that I'm gonna be, you know, that I wanted to share, I wanted to make a record of before I end up letting them move on to somebody else. So if you are interested in this group, I'm not gonna, you know, don't want to really split it up. I'd like to just get rid of the group to one person, so there's one shipping fee and, you know, one negotiation and all that stuff. And hopefully it's somebody that's just looking to put together their Ninja Turtles Archie collection, maybe need a few more issues, or they just like some of these already. Or, you know what, if you're going to buy them to resell them or whatever, and we agree on a price that's fair, if that's what you want to do with them, that's what you want to do. They're yours at that point. So that's it. This is really one of my first comic book videos. I mean, I when I was in Vienna, I showed a few of the books that I bought over there, and this is what I have. So thank you very much for watching. Again, if you have any insight on these books, please leave a comment. And if you have any, you know, groups or anything in social media or people to follow on Instagram who are into the Archie comics, Ninja Turtle versions, please let me know. I'd love to give them a follow. So thanks a lot, and I hope to see you again here soon. Thanks.